What's uppermost on your mind as you come in as city manager?
Oh, what's uppermost on my mind is really working with the community for the community to understand what's important to them. I think my sense is we're all in Hermosa Beach by choice. I think very few of us are in Hermosa Beach because we have to be here. This is a good gig, and so why are we here? And what is it that keeps us here, and what would cause us to leave? I think those are all things that we need to talk about as a community, and then define some goals that we have at the city, define those by city council, and move forward to accomplish our priorities, and really make sure we're doing at the city what people want us to. I think there's this sense of what that is, but I don't think it's been real well defined yet. So that's on my mind, sort of getting the community vision of what we're all about, which I think I know, but the community has to say that. And then really having council work on some goals and projects that they can prioritize so that we can align staff resources with those things.
How do you expect to define or discover what that goal is or should be for the community?
Well, for the community, we're starting to talk about what that might look like. It'll be a dialogue, and it'll be structured, and it'll happen over a long period of time, probably. We're getting ready to update our general plan, which is usually the document that people use to plan sort of the future for the city. And so I think there'll be a vision and value discussion, as we head into that general plan rewrite, where we'll sit down and talk about it.
Is this the meeting that you were talking about coming up in December?
Well, the one in December is going to be where council sets their goals. And so before we have kind of a big, broad community vision, we're going to have council talk about short-term goals and what they hope to accomplish in the next couple of years. And then the community visioning process, if we proceed with that, will take a little longer. But then obviously the council short-term goals need to jive with the community's longer-term vision. And then what staff's doing, obviously needs to jive with that. If staff's doing something that's not a council goal or a community goal, then the obvious question is, why are we doing that? In a time of limited resources, we shouldn't be doing things that the council doesn't want to do or the community doesn't want us to do. So yeah, that's foremost on my mind, is getting some clear goals just for the short term so we can prioritize resources, and then really getting a stronger sense from the community about what their vision is, so that over the long haul, we don't wake up and say, wow, Hermosa changed, or it's not the place that I thought it was when I got here. And so part of that community visioning discussion will be, what brought you here, what would cause you to leave, all these things. But again, I think we're all here by choice, and so I think it won't take long to figure out what those important things are that we don't want to mess up.
What kind of importance you would place upon disaster preparedness in the city?
Extreme, very high importance. It's one of those things that you don't miss until you don't have it, and so I think it's one of those things that doesn't come up all the time, but in my experience, you can't be too prepared for any sort of disaster, and I've been involved with a few disasters, and every time we felt, gee, why weren't we more ready? And so I don't think you can be too prepared. It's extremely important. It's hard, though, because you're not using that skill every day, and so the way that you can get around that, or the way you can deal with that, is you practice. You do lots of tests and drills, but it's really, like most skills, something you have to practice it, but because you don't use it very often, it's hard to do that. So it's a long way of saying extremely important, and something that you always got to be ready for, and something you always got to practice and plan for, because those days do come in. I've been involved in 3 emergencies in my career, and
is earthquake not the only emergency? I mean,
earthquakes obviously, probably the highest risk. I think some sort of water event like a tsunami here is another high risk. Those are the 2 sort of natural disaster risks. We had a H1N1 outbreak in the city I was in before, and so we declared an emergency there and had the health department take the lead on that, and activated our emergency operations center. So it's not just natural disasters, it can be other things, but our biggest risk would be those 2.
I expect that.